Hey everybody, it's Benjamin here at the Sensitar Fragrance Channel. Let's talk about another fragrance. We're fragrance lovers, we're fragrance enthusiasts, we're frag heads. Let's talk about another one. This one's called Luxe from the house of Divona. Again, 100% transparency for y'all. I was sent these samples, the whole range of samples from this brand to review. So I'm very grateful for that, but let's talk about this fragrance. I'm not so positive about this one. This one doesn't work for my nose and to my taste. This one is described with the characteristics of majestic, energetic, and daring. You have notes of blackberry, blueberry, ozone, bergamot, jasmine, lily, lavender, powder, vanilla, wood, musk, and tonka bean. Now, my friends, you cannot judge a fragrance simply by the notes alone. You cannot look at these notes and simply just say, hey, these notes sound beautiful. And sometimes you can do that with blind buying if you have the money, if you want to take the risk. But you can't judge a fragrance just by the notes. A fragrance is its net sum, how it's composed, the concentrations, the perfumer involved, and the ingredients themselves. You can get all kinds of different ingredients, when it was harvested, where it was harvested. Is it synthetic? Is it natural? What kind of synthetic is it? You can have multiple different types of synthetic of the same note. So what's going on in this fragrance is mostly a fresh, white, powdery fragrance again. Divona's fragrances tend to be very clean. I think that is a feel and a style with their fragrances that they try to go for, if I can speak right, that they simply know that people like. They know that works clean, crisp, citrusy, professional. I get again, the lily is showing its head in a big way. The lily in a lot of these Divona fragrances is a bit too much. It kind of dominates the composition. We have powder. The vanilla in Divona fragrances is lighter, fresher, and I dare say the vanilla is almost powdery as well. There's musk, there's tonka bean. Tonka bean here is again light, fresh, and almost vanillic. It's a little bit powdery as well. It's a little bit dusty. The musk comes through in the dry down. The jasmine doesn't have a lot of character. The bergamot doesn't last very long. The ozone character doesn't last very long. It's not a big part of this fragrance at all. The blackberry and blueberry both aren't very fleshed out very well. And I know what blueberry smells like. I picked a lot of blueberry. I'm from an area that's kind of blueberry country, and I love blueberries. I can eat a lot of them, and I dare say I love them. And I don't get a lot of blueberry from this fragrance, but there is a nice fresh, like the skin of some blackberry, blueberry kind of vibe. If you're expecting like juicy, jammy blueberries or a dark berry vibe, you're not getting that with this fragrance. And with the dry down, again, this is a Divona fragrance that continues to be overtly powdery and fresh and clean. And the powder it's not a heavy with the powder. It doesn't feel particularly heavy, but it kind of has that weight to it. And so there's the citrusness, and this a little bit of this fresh, this fresh berry-ish vibe, but it's not overtly sweet. And then it pretty goes to this, quickly to this like powdery vibe, with all of these notes kind of coming and mixing together. With none of the notes are really, standing out in a big way. Sure, not all fragrances have to be avant-garde or have particular notes jump out, but it's not, when it's well blended, it's not particularly smooth. To me, powder can be very jagged and have its own interesting, sharpness to it, almost like a musk can. And to me, this fragrance has that quality. The piercing aspect of powder, it's not overtly powdery, it's not overtly heavy, but this fragrance is a little bit powdery and it has that sharp aspect to it. I actually really dislike personally that aspect when a powdery fragrance has that kind of quality, almost like a musk can have, where it can be piercing and musk can be kind of animalic or body odorish. Powdery fragrances can have that kind of quality as well. It's not something I like. It's not something I gravitate towards, and it certainly is not something that I like. I dare say. This fragrance to me, it says luxe. That makes me think of something luxurious, something very classy and fancy, and it also has a phoenix on the front, so it makes me think of, something really loud, something like almost gaudy, like Hollywoodish. I think of gold. I think of something very fancy, and this fragrance. It is a little bit classy, and I suppose it could be that way. Maybe it makes you think of ladies who maybe are wearing wigs with lots of powder going to a very fancy event. I'm not sure who would like this. If you're the kind of person who likes to wear white gloves a lot, or maybe I don't know. Maybe you're into the latex scene. I don't know who this fragrance is for, honestly. I'm grasping at straws here. This is not one of the fragrances I love from the brand. This is not one I gravitate towards. But let me not be too. I'm not going to be negative. Let me not be too negative about this fragrance. Uh, Longevity wise, again, this one is one of the ones that lasts longer. You're going to get 6 or 7 hours. Not their fragrances aren't big performers overall, but something closer to 7 hours is one of their better performing fragrances for sure. Projection's all right. Sillage is okay. Overall, it's not going to get noticed in a big way, and that's one reason when I mentioned compliment factor with these fragrances, I don't get a lot of compliments with these fragrances. They just don't reach out far enough for a lot of people to detect them usually. Um, the compliment factor wise, I did wear this out and about. I did not enjoy it. Other people thought it was, again, fresh, powdery. Maybe they thought I, threw on some powder. Um, you know, it just doesn't have a lot of character to my nose. Not a lot of fruitiness overall. That blackberry or that fruit kind of vibe is in the background. It does last, but it's just not distinct enough. It's not sweet, and it doesn't have enough weight. It's just not a well-rounded. It's not a fleshed out kind of fruity nuance. And when I think of Luxe, I think of something fresh. I think of something bright. I think of something, this to me. When I think of luxuriousness and I think of the Phoenix, I beg for something, a completely different fragrance. I beg for something like saffron and red berries and things like that. This is not that kind of fragrance, and it's not for me. It's not something that I think is a wonderful creation, but I think that they reuse some of these blackberry and blueberry notes an awful lot in their fragrances. I'm going to say it like it is. Even if I got these samples for free, even if they sent me a lot of these things, I'm going to tell y'all like it is. I'm going to tell y'all my opinion. And this is just not the one that works for me. Anyways, compliment factor wise, not really there, but it does smell pretty clean, pretty fresh overall. These fragrances are very easy to wear for the most part, really, really easy to approach. When I said these are powdery and all, it's just a little bit powdery, but I am pretty darn sensitive to powdery notes. But I know some gentlemen, especially my dad, who for some reason with their generation coming from oak moss and green fragrances, they absolutely detest powderiness in any shape or form. So for some of y'all out there, this might be a big negative. I just did want to put that out there. So it's still easy to wear fragrance. It's still highly versatile for a lady. Don't be scared of it. Get out there, get your nose on it, and try it, and see what you think about it. Overall, you can get a 1 ounce for $55 odd. I link the websites down. I'm not affiliated. I get no kickback for any of these sales or anything in any way. But I do want to give you a website so you can easily find this brand and easily look at this fragrance if you are interested in them. So anyways, not a fragrance that I particularly am enthusiastic about, but I always recommend that you'll get out there, get your nose on it, get your opinion on a fragrance, test the fragrance, and see what you think for yourself. Because I'm all about helping you find what you love, what you like. This isn't a fragrance for me, just out here so I can bash fragrances I don't like. My channel is all about helping you, the viewer, the fragrance lover, the fragrance enthusiast, find something that you connect with. So somebody out there might connect with this fragrance and might just love this fragrance. And I hope that you take this review with a grain of salt, just like any of my reviews. I'm here to help you. So anyways, my friends, I hope that you did like my review. Let me know, do you like the sound of these notes? Do you like powdery fragrances? Have you tried this brand? This brand does donate to women's causes, of course, so that's an admirable thing, but I'll see you next time, my friends. Wear what you love, rock what you got, and if you did like my content, of course, please like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share the video, and tell a friend. So I'll see you next time, my friends. Have a good one, everybody, and bye.